G'day YouTube, welcome to another episode of the Friday Vape Club. As always, your host Squidly, back for another review for you. How's your week going? Hope it's been doing really well. Welcome to Wednesday. So today we've got another review. We are looking at the Thunderhead Creations Tauren Max. The Tauren Max. This is a mechanical device compatible with 18650s, 2700s, 21700s. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive down like we always do, take a quick look around this thing. I'll show you the switch and how it all comes apart. Then we'll jump back up top. We'll do pros, cons, price, if I would recommend this thing or not. So stick around, watch the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification as well. Don't forget to smash that like button. Let's get into this. Okay, and here we have a closer look at the Thunderhead Creations Tauren Max mechanical device. So this thing it's 95 millimeters tall and it is 26 millimeters at its widest point. Up the top here, you do have a hybrid top cap connection. You do have Thunderhead Creations and the Max mech. In there is your threading for your hybrid top cap, so please make sure your RDA is hybrid top cap safe. And what I mean by that is your 510 pin protrudes a fair amount from your atomizer. Down the front here, you do have your serial number up top, you do have the Tauren shield, and then this is your switch down here. And the switch is a constant contact switch, which looks just like this. We'll break the switch down in a minute so you can see inside. Inside the tube, it is solid brass. It does have some very nice threading, and you also have this battery venting holes cut out, those little cutouts there. That's the battery venting. Down this side, there is a lovely little ergonomic section. This little cutout or indent, as it were. And that sort of sets the mod up nicely to sit in your hand like so, and then you can fire like that. There's not really much to this. You can see the paint job. They've coated this with this kind of metallic-y car finish. It reminds me of a car paint, and this is supposed to be black. It does not look like black at all. So that's the mod itself. Let's take a look at the switch, shall we? Okay, so here is the switch. As you can see up the top here, this is where your battery will sit. These little indents here, I will show you what they're about in a second. You've got some peak insulator here. Here is your threads, and then you've got the switch here. So all happens internally. Constant contact, meaning that it is in constant contact with your battery, and the connection is made as you push the button. The cool thing about this device is it's got a locking feature. So when I turn this counterclockwise and it locks in place, then it's doing nothing. And if I turn it clockwise, hear the little click, then you can see it moves. That is the switch, all brass. On the bottom there, you do have your engraving of Thunderhead Creations. So how do you get into the switch itself if you want to have a quick look around? Luckily, on the packaging, Thunderhead Creations give you this. See those little indents right here? Well, they line up with the tool. You put that in there and you turn. This is what the internals of the switch look like. And if anybody had the original Tauren, you will recognize the little plates. So they've got these 4 little platelets that all sit there. They're all kind of separate. They've got that indent, so the ball bearing will touch those platelets, which creates the connection. So they're silver plated. You do have a nice little flat silver plated spring. That simply goes in like so, and as this is pushed up, they all raise up and they touch that ball bearing. Now everything in here is all greased up. I'm assuming it's like an electroconductive grease, and that stops everything sort of moving around and keeps it all secure. So that's pretty much it. Put that on there like so. I just sort of back it off slightly, make sure I've got make sure it all bites correctly. The last thing you want to do is take this apart and then cross thread that peak insulator. That's it. That is how she works. You take your battery, put your battery in. Usually you have an atomizer on top. Always put your atomizer on first, then put your battery in. I'm going positive end up. And screw your 21700 battery, I should say. Screw it up nice and tight. Now unclick. And then I turn it back. Nothing. That's kind of cool. So that is a quick look around the Thunderhead Creations Max. Let's take a look at the packaging. And here we have the packaging for the Thunderhead Creations Tauren Max. There we go. This is the little tube that it comes in. So you simply unscrew this. Inside you do receive an 18650 adapter, and that's it. The packaging is as hollow and empty as my dark broken soul.
Emo kid.
That goes in there. That goes on there. You can also undo the base if you wanted to. I don't know why you would. But you do get your little tool as well. There's a Thunderhead Creations Max little pull-out pamphlet and a certificate card there. And that's it. That's all you need. This thing doesn't come with much, but it doesn't really need to. It's a mechanical device. It's pretty much just a hollow brass tube. So that's it. Let's jump back up top. Let's do pros, cons, price, and if I would recommend this or not. So there we had a quick look around the Thunderhead Creations. I have got the Recoil Rebel on top, little 25mm guy. There you can see. I've got some pretty decent juice in here. Let's fucking go. All right, there she works. Got a 21700 battery in here. All right, so you can see, works. I push the button and it goes. Look at that thing, it's fucking awesome. All right, so let's get into this pros and cons.
Pros.
All right, this thing is kind of full of pros, really. The thing I love about this over the original Tauren is the locking feature. So they've updated the switch and it's now a constant contact switch, and included with that is this little locking feature. So you can see I've turned it and it doesn't fire. Quick half turn, clicks into place and it fires. So that's kind of cool. I like the fact they've thought about this and there's no button rattle like there used to be. If anyone actually had that original Tauren mech, remember that awful button sound? The little plates, the little silver plates just used to move around and you'd get this rattle. It was fucking irritating. And I do love the ergonomic factor to this.
Ergonomic.
I love this little cutout, this little groove. It really sits in the crook of your thumb and your finger, and it sets up nicely for that trigger fire underneath. The other thing I do like, although it is a con as well, is the paint finish. I like the fact they've upgraded their paint finish. It's not like that bubbly paint that they had on the original one. The coating that they put on here doesn't seem like it's gonna scratch or the paint's gonna chip off or anything like that. I think they've done a really good job with the coating, but it does have a little bit of a con. So let's get into the cons.
Cons.
So the first con for me is the paint finish. I do not like this speckly metallic paint, and that's supposed to be black. And if you can see, it certainly is not black. So if you bought a black and you ordered a black, good luck finding a fucking black RDA or a black top cap that is gonna match it. It's just really, it's a really weird black. I don't like it at all. The other cons for me are, they say this thing is dustproof, waterproof, and shockproof. Now, if you have a battery in it and an addy on it, like this, it is not dustproof and it definitely is not waterproof. Please do not take this out in the rain or dunk it and submerge it and try and vape it at all. It is not waterproof.
That's shocking.
I think what they're referring to is probably the switch. And so now they've made it that little, you know, constant contact switch. Yes, it's fucking idiot. So now they've made it that constant contact switch. Yes, there's probably less chance of dust getting in there. However, you still do have the little vent holes down there. So I would imagine that, you know, pocket crud and all sorts of shit may work their way in there, but I wouldn't go submerging the switch in any way and then trying to vape on it at all. The other cons for the Tauren Max. I don't like this beveled edge up here. I really wish they kind of would have left that straight or even just beveled out to a 25. So you could fit like a 25 and a 24 on here without you getting any overhang. That kind of shits me really. So I am limited then to a 24mm, and that kind of really does frustrate me. And that's kind of it really. There's not much to not like about this thing. So let's talk about the price, shall we?
Price.
So what is the Thunderhead Creations Tauren Max going to set you back? A little bit of Google food around the internet, and I found it on sale from 45 to 80 bucks in the US, depending on which site you go on. There are some cheaper, you know, Chinese sites, or there are other more legitimate sites, and those more legitimate sites are around about that 60, 70, 80 bucks for the US market. And here in Australia, I found it online for 110 bucks. Now, 110 bucks isn't bad for a mech mod. That's actually on the sort of cheaper end of the mech mod. I think if you want to try mechanical devices for the first time, firstly, understand your Ohm's law, but secondly, try and buy something like this. It does have a bit of a punch to it. It does work really well. You've got the constant contact switch, so you're going to eliminate your arcing and that sort of shit. I think this is probably a really good first mechanical mod for those out there. If you are a mech head, then probably not for you. Yeah, it's a cheap mech mod. Yeah, it's brass and it's got some cool features, but you know, most mech heads want to buy those more premium mechanical devices. But it's a pretty good bargain mechanical device if you can look past the shitty color. It's a bit of a beater. Like, I don't really give a fuck about it that much. At least I know I can, you know, lock it, put it in my pocket, and I don't give a fuck if it gets scratched. So that's kind of cool and kind of handy. That's all I've got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like always, please like, please share, please subscribe, and remember, YouTube, keep it cloudy.
A Gutter Slut production.